he got arrested for that. What's his name? I know Courtney Love's not a big fan of him.
Wes something.
Because he sounded a little too much like Kurt, especially in the beginning. And what do they get him for? Being an asshole?
Well, yeah, he went on the carousel, and then it goes back into that restricted area.
He went all in.
He rode the whole thing around.
Oh my God,
and
then that is going for it.
So he set off a bunch of alarms, and then they had to just drag him off the carousel.
Okay.
The puddle of mud guy.
I don't know.
Wes Scantlin.
No, me neither.
All right, good. All right, Artie.
Who would?
I thought he just went for the easy loop, but he went. Wow, he went
behind the scenes.
Was he partaking in substances or something?
The article didn't say that, but they just list a lot of the things that he was arrested for in the past.
You have to make your own assumptions. If you ride the luggage carousel at the airport, you're not
at
sober.
the age of 40.
Yeah, and go behind the curtain. You can't be sober.
Restricted area. Look, it's fine out here, but don't go in that restricted area.
He went under the
flap thing.
Flap.
I don't even know what you call that.
Yeah.
Artie Lange in studio again. A lot of people are thinking that Artie's on our show for the first time. No, he's already did our show. He killed it.
Yeah.
About a month or two ago.
Is this? Are we on the air?
Yeah. Yes.
I'm trying to like.
Yes. You need to adjust the volume over there.
Okay. There you go. Now there's the stuff I need.
I think you lost a little weight. Is that?
I probably dropped a couple.
Is that okay to say to another guy?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay. All right. All right.
It's okay to say to this guy.
Yeah. You're looking good.
I'm fine with it. Thanks, man.
All right.
What are you doing to lose the weight?
I got diabetes, and I had type 2 for a while. That turned into type 1.
Which is worse?
Because because that's when you need the needle. They actually have these pen needles now, where it's the easiest thing in the world. Like a retarded kid could use it. You just stick yourself, you put the amount of units you want on the dial on the pen, and you put it in. It takes like 10 seconds.
Do you got to hit a vein or no?
No, that's what makes it easier. Just a quick skim pop. If I had to do that, I don't think I could ever. I can't believe these heroin addicts on the street can hit veins. You go into a hospital and like 14 nurses sometimes can't find the vein.
Right.
These guys tie off on the corner of 38th and 9th,
right.
And they hit a vein. They could be doctors or something. And you have to eat this diabetic diet, which is basically a diet everyone should eat. It's no carbs, it's no white flour, stuff like that. And because I've been eating a diabetic diet, I probably dropped some weight. And I started walking a little bit.
So does the needle hurt every day?
No.
They used to, though,
it's a real small needle. My old man had it. And he was in real good shape, my father, and he climbed roofs for a living. So he always, but he had it bad, just hereditary, I guess. But that was back when you had to draw it out of the vial like a syringe, that hurt.
Of course.
But I didn't get it till a couple of years ago, and the technology is such now where when we're on the road so much, that's what I worried about in the hospital, because I forget to take fucking shirts on the road. You know how many shirts I have, like a Hawthorne Inn or Ramada Inn t-shirt I buy in the gift shop because I'm out of clothes. But it's just like taking another pen in your briefcase on the road. So that's probably why I dropped it.
Does your blood sugar drop? Getting you in some situations.
Yeah, I like it. I mean, my problem is it being higher, so I like when it drops. But
okay.
If I exercise, it's still reversible, which is great. So if I can lose another 50 pounds,
so you could go back to having the one.
Well, just on pills. Yeah, just on pills. Yeah.
Right. Okay.
Which is.
But how do you go from? Wait, now I'm confused. Which is the worst one?
One is
one. Okay, so how do you go?
They call it type A or type 1.
How do you go from 2 to 1? Just bad diet?
Yeah, that's what I did. I thought it was going to be way worse when I went in originally. And of course they tell me it's not as bad. And I take that as okay, now I can still keep having fun. Fuck it. I'm not as bad as I thought I was. And on the road, I like, what do you eat for dinner on the road at a hotel?
Always grilled chicken with steamed vegetables. Kenny will find a place, because Kenny eats pretty healthy too. He doesn't eat a burger, but
he eats ridiculously.
You got to go out and get grilled chicken. You got to
find it.
Yeah,
but the problem is you have all the intention of eating well, and then you open up that menu in your hotel room, and it's just staring at you.
Well, God forbid you're at a nicer hotel and they have everything. Like I played Boston recently, and I said, let me splurge a little bit, and I stayed at the Ritz-Carlton, and 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, you can get a steak and
pretty full menu. Yeah, it's hard.
Yeah.
But you get just salad with dressing on the side, grilled chicken. You get used to it after a while. Like, I'd rather eat shit, but I feel better when I eat that.
What about the mini bar?
That's my problem. I rush out. I have a $19 Toblerone bar
with a fucking rule
with a root beer. That's my dinner, and that's how I'm on stage like that. My blood sugar's 600, and but that's the other thing. It's expensive at the mini bars. You open the door, you're down $50.
Right.
It's crazy.
And now you can't even move those things around because
sensors.
That's right.
They have all sorts of sensors.
What a fucking scam! If you move a Heineken to get to an
see what's behind
juice,
the Heineken, right?
You
Exactly.
pay for both items,
and you don't know you're paying.
No, then
because no one really looks at their bill.
Famous Amos cookies and all that shit. Yeah, I always feel like a cheap bastard or a woman if I'm looking at the bill. What is this item here?
Yeah.
And then if you have a couple of pornos in there, you double the fucking room and tax.
You bring your laptop. That's what you do. You jerk off with your laptop, and you get everything with a refrigerator in it, so you can buy some. I'll bring like fucking awful baby carrots. They're not great.
That's right. No, they fill you up, and the phone. And look, and there's no reason anyone should have a high phone bill in a hotel anymore.
Never.
Yeah.
Technology is such where it should be easier.
Do you try to squeeze your drinks and snacks into their refrigerator, but they don't have any extra room? Has anyone ever tried that?
I'm putting my tuna salad in that I got at the Exxon station on the way up and to save money, but you accidentally hit an apple juice, and that's $14. Yeah, it's really a scam. It really is.
Did you try the freeze dried? I think we're going hack, but I kind of like this conversation.
Yeah.
We would stay at a dog hotel. I'm mentioning it again,
right?
But they had freeze dried ice cream. Have you ever tried that?
No. What is? I
want to.
Freeze dried ice cream.
It's in the mini bar and it's not in the refrigerator.
I don't know. That seems like Dippin' Dots at Yankee Stadium.
They sort of said it's kind of like that.
What the fuck they even are? It's weird, but I like them.
I like Dippin' Dots.
I do. So maybe I'll like the frozen dried ice cream.
All right. We were supposed to try it.
Eventually, if you travel a lot, eventually you can't help but talk about hotels and traveling. It's just
it's one of the things. You're stuck in them every weekend, and I've said before too. Like I can't stay in. Like I like a good Ritz-Carlton, like everybody, but they fucking put so much starch in the sheets.
Yeah,
I like a good fucking Courtyard Marriott. I sleep like a baby in those fucking things.
Actually, no, Courtyard Marriott. There's low level thing. I mean, Courtyard Marriott's one of those examples of an affordable, nice place to stay. Yeah. Absolutely.
They get the little fucking snack area outside. You got your little refrigerator, your little storage. So Kenny will go to Whole Foods.
They're not overthinking it.
Yeah, get some fucking, some boring. You know how shitty fucking regular almonds are, unsalted, normal. They blow.
You got to doll stuff up.
They blow.
Did you use your yoga mat up there in Boston?
Are you a yoga guy?
No. He doesn't even know. We were in this dog hotel, and they had a sign that said every room comes with a yoga mat.
Yes.
They're just trying way too hard for something that is not going to work.
No, I did not.
How many people are using their yoga mats in their hotel
You'd be
room?
surprised. People get way into working out, man. When I did the road with DePaulo a couple of times, and he was doing that P90X, and he got in really good shape, but he took that tape, that DVD with him everywhere. And he's like jumping around in the room. And, God bless him, it worked, but I couldn't believe the level of commitment. Again, I like to underpack,
It's amazing how we commit to like bad things, like the amount of commitment you would have to getting high. And it's the same for myself for bad shit. It's like committing to good stuff is hard. Committing to bad shit is delightful and easy.
Going to score drugs is like another job.
Yeah.
It's literally another job.
Yeah.
And the stress level's insane.
So what about what actually made you say, fuck it, I want to do something about this? Like as far as like the eating and stuff?
Well, the diabetes was a big wake-up call. But that's my MO, man. Something serious has to happen. It has to take a doctor like showing me
some charts.
Exactly. Showing me my blood work,
right?
And going, listen, you want to die in a few? I mean, because I just turned 47, and you won't see 50. And then I started to think, do I want to see 50? I mean, I'm childless, but
we need you around. You want to see 50?
No, well, you know what? I didn't think, with my attitude, the way it's been, my negative attitude over the years, I didn't think I'd be that scared of death, but this is a good thing. I was scared crazy of it. I was like, wow, he really, because this guy laid it on the line. He's like, he had good bedside manner, but he said, listen, I gotta be honest with you, you gotta change, so
Where it's not just in theory anymore. It's like you're actually at that age where it's like he's not saying like you got to do this by 70. Right. No, now you got to do this.
You're facing it. You're at the crossroads. Absolutely.
We all are though, and we finally got to start really paying attention to that shit.
Yeah, when you get even people who live the healthiest lifestyle, they get taken out by something stupid. Exactly.
It's scary to think it's preventable, or like if you're gonna drop dead, you're gonna drop dead, but you don't want to do it because of a fucking a bonbon or a burger.
Look at that Taylor Negron guy. I just worked with him. I did a podcast with him, and he about 6 months ago he looked insanely healthy, and he was telling me about this lifestyle he leads and vegan forever, all that stuff, and 3 months, bam, you got
Was it that fast?
Wow. I might have wrong information,
but close to it.
Yeah, I mean, if pancreatic or something like that, you go. But that's the way to do it. I want to linger. Right. Linger, with the cancer for 85 years. I'd rather just, bye. I'll check out now.
I didn't know Taylor, but he just died. I think it was a pancreas kid. That's the motherfucker, man.
I met him. And again, I'm not sure what it was. These are all rumors you hear from comedians, so I don't have an official story. But I met him the one time. Really nice guy.
Right.
But I guess he found out, and then I wonder if he didn't get checkups. Or it's like we're at that age too, where you hate to keep talking about it, but it's like I got to go get checkups, and I don't want to do that.
Yeah, no.
He's the comic, by the way, for the people that don't know. Yeah.
He was in Easy Money. He was the boyfriend trying to get Rodney's daughter.
And a great actor. Fast Times at Ridgemont High.
Fast Times, he was great in,
yeah, funny guy.
Man, that sucks.
57. Right. That sounded so old when I was fucking starting comedy when I was 21 and all eager and all high energy.
But that's how old Henny Youngman was. You know what I mean? You felt like when we started, 57 or Freddie Roman or these guys, you go, wow, they're old. Now we're those guys.
Yeah, it's within reach.
Down at the Cellar, at the Comedy Cellar, there's all these young kids, and they talk about, instead of the Rolling Stones, they talk about DMX.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
Well, comedians start telling you they watched you for a long time, like because Tough Crowd was so many years ago, and I
grow up listening to you.
Oh
that's
my
what
god,
I get.
dude, that's so fucking weird.
Right.
Like, dude, I loved you. I watched you. Michael Chase said that recently. Like, I used to watch Jim. I'm like, fuck, I feel so old.
Yeah.
It was a nice compliment, but you feel like, god damn it.
Chay's a real nice kid. He's very respectful. Some of them are a little arrogant about it, but they go, I grew up listening to you.
I got that in Boston. Yeah. When we were up there
sure.
for AAF.
Yeah, well, you guys started there, right?
We haven't done radio in Boston. Well, we did go back a little bit.
But we
got fired.
Your first impact was
20 years ago. Right around now is when we went to Boston. I can't even imagine that. And at Jimmy's show, he taped his special. A lot of people coming up. Man, I started listening to you at 13, and now this guy, full-grown man with a beard halfway down his fucking chest, and he had to tell me he started listening when he was 13 years old.
Another one is, how about a hot chick saying her dad is a fan?
Yeah,
that'll get my dick hard. Especially if she says it while we're alone. My dad's a big fan.
No, that you know what? And you know what? I'm glad you said that because I thought I was weird. Yeah. That really turns me on. Yeah, the hot chick goes, my dad. Well, let's ruin your dad's day.
Yeah, let's destroy two things for him at once.
Guess who I'm dating?
Right. There was two generations at your show. It was a mom and dad that brought their son, who really likes the radio show and your comedy at the same time. So I go to the dad. I'm like, did you used to listen? He goes, oh yeah, a long time. I used to listen to you on AF when I was a kid.
Right.
And I'm like, what? Because his kid is 16 years old at Jimmy's show.
Time flies by. I mean, listen, we're 15 years into the new century, for Christ's sake. Remember that when you were younger, you started thinking, how old am I going to be?
Yeah, 2000.
2000. Yep. And, now that's gone. That's a fucking haze memory ago.
We went through that exercise. We were on our way to my grandma's house in Wading River, and we'll all went around the car. I'm big family, all going, how old are you going to be in 2000?
I did the same exact thing.
And my dad said he was going to be 70. I remember this like it was yesterday. He goes, I'm going to be 70. We're all like looking at him like, what the 70? Holy shit, that's now 15 years ago. Yeah. If he was alive, he'd be 85.
I was going to say, is he not all right? Did he make 70
He made 74.
Oh, he does?
He was taken out in a car accident.
Oh, really?
Yeah, but his heart was going. So we all were convinced he had maybe a year or two left. He was going down a bad road.
So he went out rock and roll style.
He went went out like a rock and roller. On the way to the hospital, gave all his info like it was nothing. And
really,
he was on blood thinners for his heart, and his brain just couldn't handle the expansion of the blood.
You don't want to. My mother always told me that my mother's words ring in my head when I'm younger, like, and I'm living like shit, unhealthy. She's like, you don't want bad news from a doctor one day. You don't want bad, Of course, that's coming with the diabetes chart, and she's 100% right.
It's like this is what people are afraid of when they go. You never want the solemn. You never want the glasses coming off before they talk. Like this solemn discussion.
No, Artie, sit down.
Yeah. Well, I'm not going to lie. You never want to hear I'm not going to lie to you before the doctor gives his fucking prognosis. Lie to me, you fucking cunt.
Please. Give me
do whatever you have to.
Everybody else in my life bullshits me. Why not my doctor?
All right, let me skip out of this office thinking everything's all right.
Let my stand-up agent tell me the news. Listen, babe, you're going to be fine. Everything's great. It's diabetes, nothing.
And I didn't know. I mean, it's funny. I know you for so long, and I didn't know that your dad was. I know your dad. You said he fell off a roof.
Yeah,
but I didn't know he was a quadriplegic.
Well, that's how he became a quadriplegic.
I never knew that.
He fell off a roof. He installed antennas for a living, my father, and did roofing and cleaned gutters, whatever. Like jack of all trades kind of guy. Got to like about the 9th grade in school. He was a very physical guy. That's why it was like a living hell for him. He not a big reader, unless it was the sports section. And he fell off a roof a week after my 18th birthday. And he,
what was he doing when he fell off? Was he
was working. He was trying to install a wire for an antenna he had just put up, and he put the ladder he was working on top of a picnic table, and he was on to get to the top peak, which he did a lot. He was just a maniac. He thought he could fly, I think, and he lunged forward to hammer something, and he fell 40 feet right on his head.
40 feet?
On the head he landed.
Yeah, right. And became a quadriplegic for the last 4.5 years of his life. Yeah, that's brutal. See your dad going through that. That's rough.
Fucking horrendous.
Yeah.
He only made 5 years after that.
Well, I think he offed himself. He had a couple of crazy. He would ask me to kill him once a week.
Oh, really?
Yeah, because he didn't know. I go, Dad, listen, you're suffering. If I could get away with it, I would do it. How am I going to get away with this shit?
What do you want you to do? Pull the plug?
He was like anything. There was no real plug to pull, but pills or
right.
But again, me and my mother have no real proof of this, but I think one of his nutty friends he grew up with in Newark got in there the night before he was going to a hospital for like a 3-week stay for his bad bed sore he had, and offed him and helped him, which I would never press charges against. The guy's dead now, but who I think it was. But
what exactly? What was the? I mean, obviously the accident, but what happened that made you think that it might have been that guy?
Well, this guy was crazy, and he was visiting him more often than not. And later on, a couple of years later, another friend of his said that this guy had lunch with him and said, "Look, Artie asked me to kill him, and I think I'm going to do it."
Oh, wow.
And which was kind of, nutty. And my father's name was Artie, too, yeah. So he said, and I feel bad for him, he just can't deal with it. And this guy was about to go to jail for armed robbery, and he had Parkinson's disease and stuff like that, and he wasn't going to last that long anyway. I think he figured maybe it's a good thing, I'll help him get out of this living hell. And my father was always an atheist. My mother would try to ram religion down our throats, right. And my father, I'd go to work with him, and he'd go, "There's nothing up there. There's nothing. Don't listen to it. There's nothing up there."
Did he die like that too, or did he convert or believe in God towards the end as he get closer?
Well, there was a Monsignor used to visit him all the time, and my mother set up, and a guy would come over, and my father would say, "At least tell me this. At least tell me I'm going through the hell on earth right now. If there is a heaven, and I don't want more of this shit when I get over there. At least if there's a heaven and a hell, at least tell me he's punishing me here,
right?
And then when I get up there, I could get a pass." Because my father was a sort of a low-level criminal his whole life. He was I loved him. He was a great dad, but you find out more and more shit. The latter, when you become a quadriplegic, there's someone to sue usually, and but we had to go on welfare because on top of him falling, there was no one to sue. We were going to sue the ladder company. He fell off a house, had no homeowners insurance, so these lawyers, swirl around because they smell money. And if it goes to court, a jury doesn't even care about the circumstances. They just see a quadriplegic.
Right.
Someone's going to pay,
It's a home run, usually. Right,
exactly. So he goes, "Well, we'll sue the ladder company." That's what the lawyer said. So my father... like shook his head and like, what's the matter? He stole a ladder. He stole the fucking ladder from a Bell Atlantic truck. Took it right off the fucking hood of a truck. He stole it, and the lawyer said, "Excuse me, Mr. Lange." He goes, "I stole the ladder." He goes, "Well, we can't sue a company you stole the ladder from." And he goes, "So I never forget the lawyer did it. The lawyer closed his briefcase, put the legal pen in, and said, "I wish you all the best of luck." The smell of money was gone. Yeah. He said, "You stole the ladder?" He quietly closed his notebook, put his pen back, and said, "I wish you guys the best of luck." Oh, my God. And then it was a living hell for 4.5 years, you know. Because he saw my mother. So we go on Medicaid and welfare. I became, you know, my drinking and dope and my gambling, just every self-destructive thing went through the roof. My sister was like an angel, just, you know, worked her way through it. She was still in high school. But, you know, my mother had to get a job as a secretary, come home and take care of him because Medicaid only paid for 8 hours. And it was welfare. It was really a living nightmare.
And it's humiliating for a guy who's, you know, again, he's, you know, a man's man or whatever, to have to be cleaned and washed by, you know, that's a fucking...
The worst. And some of these nurses, you know, some of them
are assholes.
Yeah, they should not be in the profession they're in.
I hear it over and over again.
Yeah, and I would say, listen, I understand. I would not want to do this either. So why are you doing it? Right. But then it makes you appreciate the great ones. Mm-hmm. Like he had a couple of male nurses. Like these 2 gay black guys. They were angels. They were like, they would make them laugh. And my father, you know. A guy from Norton was not exactly grew up in the 50s, sympathetic towards the plight of the gays. My father, but you know, these two guys would come in and make him laugh, and like he was like, you know, wiping his ass. They would make him laugh. So those 2 guys were really like godsends for $7 an hour. Wow. It's got to be a calling. It's got to be a calling. You know.
Did you see Whose Life Is It Anyway? With Dreyfus?
Yeah, a long time ago, but yeah.
Where he plays a guy who's a
They
sculptor.
shoot horses, don't they, is a similar one, yeah.
Where he's injured, he becomes a quadriplegic through a car accident, and he can't use his hands anymore, and he was a sculptor. And he's in this hell on earth, and he fights in court for his right to die. He just wants to be taken off of feeding.
Right.
And was that not an option for your father to be taken?
He didn't have the feeding tube. It wasn't, but he couldn't move from the neck down. He didn't, so he had all his faculties.
So he could chew and swallow. And
yeah, you had to feed him and stuff like that. But, you know, it's funny, when we worked together, he loved apples. It's amazing how the mind works. He loved eating apples when we would take a break working. And when he was depressed and I was taking care of him when he was a quad, I said to him, "Dad, you want an apple? You love apples. Maybe that'll cheer you up." And he goes, "You know what? I can't eat them anymore." And I said, "Why?" He said, "I'll feed it to you." He goes, "I love the act of holding an apple.
Really?
And eating it. Like just the act, like you grab it. And it seems like an American thing to do." That's what he said. Yeah. Also reading the newspaper. He didn't like it to be read to him. He liked, you know, opening up, cracking the paper and turning the pages.
The feel of it.
The ritual
and
of it.
He couldn't grip it. And he used to hurt my hand throwing baseballs at me playing catch. Real strong guy, and I used to do pull-ups off his biceps. I'll never forget that as a kid. And then you're right, you hit the nail on the head for a guy like that to go through it, and for his kid to be fucking taking care of him. You know, that's hard.
You gotta hate that as a father.
Yeah, that's hard.
I'm all for assisted suicide.
A lot of well, listen. In that case, a lot of people would if you hung with him for a couple of weeks, you'd probably change your mind if you weren't for assisted suicide. You know?
The worst thing is too, you know, like the torture of little things, like if you have an itch. Like a dumb thing like that, if your face itches, or just not being able to scratch your fucking face.
Couldn't feel anything from the neck down, and the only thing you could feel was pain. You're right, or an itch or something like that.
Do you think you get relief when you're sleeping and dreaming and all that?
Well, that's the thing. He was becoming a pillhead, obviously, and I was like, shoot him up with the law to give him whatever the fuck he wants. You know, I wasn't denying him anything. I said to the doctors, you know, they gave him a bunch of pills and to help him go to sleep, and he was starting to become addicted to that too. Well, that's the one time I get relief. Like I'm full of fucking sleep. I don't have to think about all the bullshit.
It's a whole different world when you're sleeping.
I know a lot of comedians are humorous, whatever. You know, you go through shit like that. A lot of people have crazy stories. You know?
I wonder what you dream. I wonder that the worst part has got to be though that you dream that you're walking and active and then wake up.
Yeah, did you see the Stephen Hawking movie?
We were just talking about it yesterday.
That part at the end where he imagines himself getting up and picking up the pen. That movie really affected me. You know, mostly because I saw my father in a wheelchair. wheelchair for that long, but when he sees, I would just love to pick up that fucking pen.
Right. It was an amazing scene.
I'm sitting here lecturing. Everybody thinks I'm a genius. All I want to do is pick up that fucking pen and give it to this broad who's in the front row.
I think he's going to win the Oscar.
I don't see how you can't give it to that.
He already won the Golden Globe. I haven't seen all the other movies yet, but
there's a commercial for it. You know, I mean, the stuff he does. Like, I know the stupid acting work I've had. It's hard to prepare to play, like, you know, someone who's like me. To prepare the mornings where he had to shoot those scenes in the wheelchair. I can't imagine how he had to prepare for that.
He pulled it off,
and he did. And if you look at Stephen Hawking, it's exactly like him.
It was creepy how much he looked like him.
Yeah.
His mannerisms and stuff. When he was walking and fell for the first time, that scene is amazing.
You got to give it to him. You got to give him the Oscar. I mean, I know everybody's talking Keaton, and
he was good too.
Man. Yeah, I haven't seen that.
It was good, man. It was better than I thought. I thought it was gonna be overhyped, but I was like, fuck, I really am enjoying this.
I'm gonna check it out.
I got 2 copies if you need one.
Really?
Right in my coat. Right in my coat. I'll give you one.
I might take you up on it.
We were talking about Stephen Hawking and how amazing it was that he was able to have an affair in that position.
Having more kids than Cromartie on the Jets.
And he had a lot of kids.
Jesus Christ. Yeah.
So I was saying he must have had a big piece. He must have had a big piece.
It makes sense. It makes sense because, she had to, like, negotiate getting on top. And
he also had millions of dollars, though. That also doesn't hurt. The fact that he's not a broke physicist.
He had a Corvette.
Yeah, he was quite a rich guy.
It was a good movie. I wish they focused a little more on his life, but it was the love story told from her perspective, the ex-wife.
She looked like an angel in that, man.
No kidding.
It was like a publicity stunt for her.
She made sure the person that played her was basically a model and hot.
That always happens.
And the guy she ends up with in the movie, he's like a model.
Yeah.
And then he makes sure the broad that Stephen Hawking cheated on looked a little crazy nuts.
It's always she was that's what my point about Goodfellas. Goodfellas is told from Henry Hill's perspective, and he never kills a guy. He's always like voice of reason. What are you doing, Jimmy?
Yeah, of course.
We can't kill this guy, Jimmy.
Right.
Come on.
It's all about perspective.
Right.
I said yesterday, and these guys gave me shit, the scene where she finds the penthouse in that movie.
Yeah.
And he can't move, and he wants to look at the penthouse, and she's slowly turning the pages and seducing him. I thought it was a hot scene.
Absolutely.
I found that to be kind of a turn on.
The thing is, very erotic. Very erotic.
Did anybody ever lose patience with your dad? Like, 'cause I know that there's the rumors that...
we all did. I was guilty of it, sure, yeah.
Well, you snap, and then you're like, what the fuck am I doing?
Yeah, what am I? I'm yelling at a guy who can't move.
Were you guys relieved when he passed?
I hate to say it, but for him and us, my mother was just tired. She was always tired and, not able to sleep. She would set her alarm for every 2 hours to wake up and turn him. Otherwise, you get a bed and then get up and work all day. Again,
oh my God! Day in and day out, that was her routine.
Yeah, you don't find women like that anymore, man. A modern woman bolts.
Yeah,
I've had girlfriends leave me because I have the flu. They don't want to put up with those 4 days of hell.
Me and my brother, we had an open discussion about my dad after he passed. Like the guilt went away, and we felt guilty about that because my dad's his health was really shitty. And when that phone rang in the middle of the night, that's why I don't even keep my phone on anymore. I think it goes back to that.
Yeah,
we're like, oh, here it is. It finally happened. And then when he did pass, and we went through it, and it was horrible. We were all extremely sad, obviously. Then we went into a stage of relief where we weren't going to get that phone call anymore.
That's normal, I think.
You think?
Normal. Yeah, I think absolutely.
But we openly talked about it, and it felt good to talk and go, oh, you were thinking that too? Then.
Yeah.
Now we don't have to worry about that anymore.
If you, like I said, I've done a lot of group therapy, and you find a lot of people are like that. It's a hard thing. Living in L.A., you talk about that phone call. Living in L.A. with the time difference, a lot of times my mother would forget the time, and I'd be getting this call. I'm like, man, you realize it's, what are you doing?
What are you doing?
You realize I think everyone died in the family because you don't realize.
It's 4 in the morning.
Yeah, right.
It's 7 for you.
Oh, I'm sorry.
She's still around?
Yeah. Believe me, alive and kicking.
Doing good?
Yeah.
Oh, that's good.
She's doing real well, yeah.
Good to hear, man.
Yeah.
Wow, that's some heavy stuff.
Yeah, it's interesting. Like, I really hadn't realized that. I'm like, how do I know you this long and not know some? I guess every friend you have, there's a million things in their life you don't know.
That's something you bring up, It's like one of those, it's kind of heavy. I put it in my first book, but a lot of comics, I think do have, abnormal, maybe not really traumatic, but something crazy in their past that makes you want to get on stage and forget about it somehow.
Yeah, I don't really trust most comedians who have a wonderful story. I'm like, there's something missing.
There's not many that are successful, though.
Not that I know.
Well, Seinfeld's probably the example. He's the one, but he's the one guy who's like, he does seem nuts, but
but he just came out and thought he might be autistic. He goes, I'm on the spectrum. Then he goes, no, I'm not. He's got some kind of nut issues too.
He held it together for a long time, but that Comedians in Cars, which I love, the web series he does, you realize, okay, he's nuts as well. All right, good. Okay, it makes sense now. He's just nuts in a different one.
Yeah,
I love it. He should have you. You would be a great one.
I don't know. I'm doing Comedians in Cars getting cocaine. That's my spin-off.
Are you liking doing a podcast?
Oh, God, I love it.
Oh, you do?
Yeah. I forgot how much I love radio, and this is really...
You're about a month or two in now, right?
Yeah, 3 weeks in. We just finished
okay.
our third full week. Yeah, it's just a blast, and it really is. I mean, I don't even have sponsors at this point. It's just like a monthly thing, because these corporations Google my name and they're like, I know, we're not sponsoring this. But a few thousand people have signed up already, and it's just that they're my only bosses. It's great. It's like, I mean, even working here is great, but you're still working for a corporation.
Someone else.
There's none of that.
You didn't have to worry about bosses when you were here, really, because Howard was in his own world.
But I wasn't Howard, though. It's still.
You had to deal with management?
No, not on that level. But there was. I was still nervous about stuff I said. You never know if I say something that could embarrass the show. Maybe he'll talk to him about me, and he'll be forced to deal with it.
Right.
But I was always nervous about that. It never happened, but I still had that neurosis. Yeah,
gotcha.
Here, there's none of that.
That's typical stand-up, by the way. Typical stand-up is afraid of getting fired all the time. No matter what you're doing, no matter how good it is, you're obsessed with. They're gonna get rid of it.
Because you guys live in a world where you don't have to worry about any of that, and then you're doing you're doing radio, which is a big deal and a big job, and it's totally different. So something that you said on stage the night before could actually get you fired from your radio show.
Right, that's an excellent point. Everything I did being on a show that many people were listening to, literally millions of people around North America, everything you did, the pressure got amplified. Like if you did I was a regular on Conan before I got on Howard, and those... I'd do the appearance, everything would be fine, and then now you do the appearance, and there might be 50 phone callers who liked you or hated you, or you said something on stage in Vegas the night before, and you get shit for that. Everything was scrutinized to the umpteenth degree, So you're right, the pressure is more, but still, I loved the job. It was amazing.
Yeah.
Amazing.
It's ArtieQuitter.com for the podcast. You can sign up right now as we talk to Artie.
One word, ArtieQuitter.com.
Where do you do it from?
I'm doing it from my house right now in Hoboken.
So you just use kind of like a mic and a recorder set up, or are you going to build a mini studio?
It's a mini studio.
Oh, it is?
There, yeah.
Oh, nice.
I set it up to where, hopefully, both you guys or anybody's got an open invite to come in and say hi, but it's like a mini studio. I invested in everything myself.
That's great. It's smart.
I hired a marketing guy. I paid for the website myself, and I have a full board, and an engineer and a producer. So
you're taking it very serious.
Yeah, why not? It's like... And I get to, plug the stand-up.
Speaking of houses, you hit the press 2 or 3 days ago. You're selling your Bay house.
It's like, it's
7,000 square feet. Is that real?
Yeah.
Because me and Jimmy were freaking out. We're like, he has a 7,000 square foot house?
Yeah, it was a good investment. I bought it about 7-8 years ago on the Jersey Shore. It's my Jersey Shore dream house. But, it's a situation where, like... If I can get the right price for it, I'll sell it. But if not, I won't.
Just keep it. You don't have to sell.
But there's actually a place I'd like to get in another area that I have my eye on. It's funny how you always want more, but if I can get the price I want for this house, then I could make that other move.
Gotcha.
But that's a sanctuary for me down there.
The pictures are beautiful.
Oh, I love it. It's really great.
Really nice.
So you're not broke or anything like that. You're okay.
No, I'm not. Thank God. Good. I mean, a lot of people would think that. Listen, I've spent a lot of money on bad shit, but
whenever you hear the house goes on sale, you're like, oh no. But that's just a movie maker.
No, it's not like that.
Okay, good.
No, it's. it's one of the things, if I get a certain price for it, I'll take it, you know.
Have you been careful? Like, you hear so many people get ripped off. I've been so paranoid about that. Like, I'm pretty careful with money. Like,
it's never happened to me. I mean, but I'm not saying it's because I'm so bright. I just have people that didn't rip me
lucky.
off.
Right.
That means you've been lucky.
That's what I mean. The people get. I mean, people talk about, these guys who get ripped off are stupid. Not really. They just, I got a lot of references before I gave people my money to deal with, and if they're going to be criminals, I have no control over that.
Well, the Billy Joel story, that proves that we're all just lucky.
Got to keep writing hits, man. He thought after Glass Houses he could relax for a little while.
The story goes, I think it was his brother-in-law was the one that took every fucking dollar.
The Dane Cook story, too, right?
With his brother.
Yeah. His brother,
millions. Half-brother, whatever it was.
Was hiding money all over the country.
That's when you
supposedly burying money.
You want to strangle somebody.
They found money in his freezer.
I mean, because
I hung with that guy. Dane Cook actually invited me to his SNL when he was hosting.
Oh, yeah.
And at the after party, the big famous after party, I was sitting right next to the guy. He's always
been nice to me. Did you have a good relationship with Dane?
I never had a problem with Dane.
Yeah, and I've always been.
Comes on, we like him, we support him. But I sat next to his brother, and I didn't. And I'm like, I think back now, like, wow, that guy was already burying money.
A complete, just fuck you, man. Like,
what a
really
scumbag move.
Yeah,
Took him for millions.
Still in the joint, I think, right?
I think so. And they didn't find all the money. They were able to recover some of it.
Nah, it's gone. These guys spend it. They get rid of it. Or they hide it.
Brother, though, Jesus.
Well, I mean, because I bought that house because of stand up on the road. I mean, that's the Stern salary was great, but because of the stand-up I was able to do because of it, and the book deals and shit and whatever, I was able to buy it because I was making a lot of money on the road, and I saved it. And that's blood money, man. That's a lot of work. So if someone steals your stand-up money, I mean, it's like that's getting, especially when you're trying to keep a radio gig on top of it.
Yeah.
And for me, doing morning radio while I was doing the road, it's like going from having a paper route to being nocturnal. I'd leave St. Louis, get there, have to be up, 5 a.m. Monday morning. That is so much work. If someone stole that money, I'd be homicidal.
Yeah.
I'd be like, motherfucker.
The hardest part of the job is getting up early.
Yeah, and after being up all night doing stand-up and then traveling. Jesus. So, I'm no great businessman. I just saved my fucking I just made enough money to where, a retard could
right.
Bought a house like that.
Did.
Well, no, I had a good... Let's be real specific. A fat, disgusting retard. Could have... But, and I said to myself, it's a good real estate investment, and I bought the place in Hoboken, again, and the idiot that I am, I was able to get a good sort of net worth going. But if someone steals that money that you got from stand-up, it's not like some development deal where you didn't have to work for it, and it's blood money, man.
Right.
And you do feel good when you have a place that you bought to look at, like, all right, this was I did something, and here's the evidence of it.
Look what I did.
And I didn't just fucking waste every dollar, and 'cause I have mild demons myself, and it's kind of hard not to blow even more money on.
Plus, when you look like me, you need that for broads. That place is a closer. The chick walks in there, and instantly I'm Rob Lowe.
You're good.
I look like Marcus Schenkenberg.
Yeah, it really is amazing what a good fucking picture window view can do.
Absolutely. I've seen it, man.
Beautiful.
It's a panty dropper.
Yeah.
I forgot that you were an elf. My kid is at that age where they're watching that movie a lot, and I'm like, holy fuck, that's right. Artie was Santa Claus.
This goddamn talk about money. God bless that. That's like a Christmas bonus every year, the residuals, because they have fucking marathons.
Right.
There's marathons of that fucking movie.
So you get a good taste from that movie.
I get residuals. Sure.
Wow, nice. Good for you.
It's a goddamn Christmas classic. I'm in.
Yeah, you got a couple big scenes, too.
Did
you realize that movie was, I guess because it was Will Ferrell, and when he was beyond
I knew it'd
hot.
be a hit, but like the level of it, like they call it a Christmas classic. I mean, it's because of his performance. He's really. But I saw him. We shot it up in Vancouver, in Canada, and I'm in the Santa suit. He was in that fucking elf suit from 6 in the morning to like 7 at night, and I would have lost it and killed someone with a machete.
Right.
He had that hat stapled to his fucking head, and he had those shoes, and he stayed in character. I saw him before breakfast. I was putting the Santa suit on in my trailer, and I had the door open, talking to like the assistant director. She's giving me like the itinerary, and he walks by in that suit. He goes, "Hi, Artie." mean? I mean, I blew a bunch of takes because I was laughing at everything he did. But he was in that character, in that outfit the whole fucking time.
Did he feel like he had to be in character for that role?
I don't know.
Oh, that's so funny.
The hardest role for me would be to play a cheery guy. I'd have to, if I have to be a cheery guy all the time, I'd need help.
Eric just told me that USA does a 24-hour marathon of Elf.
They do.
So that's got to be nice money.
And I think Stars picked it up this season too, was doing a 24-hour marathon.
And it's a Christmas classic now, so that movie will never go away.
That's the other thing. I've been lucky enough to be in like about 10 films, and the residuals for that's free money. Like that money you don't mind people stealing, but it's not like stand-up money.
That's great.
Because even if a movie sucks, and I've been in shitty movies, and I've been shitty in them, but they just throw them on in the back. A studio will sell a movie to a dentist office. It's on in the background for like just noise,
right?
And you get money for that. God bless it.
I've never gotten good residual money. I've gotten like little bits in pieces here and there.
You're in the first Spider-Man, right?
Yeah, but it was a one. You know,
it's a quick thing.
I got $1,000 for one line, which was okay. That was my pay. I probably made $5,000 or $6,000 over the years in residual, but nothing. You wonder what the main actors, like the amount of money that Tobey Maguire or fucking Kirsten Dunst must pull in.
A lot of those are buyouts. They'll go to the union and say they get $15 million, and then they don't get.
And that's it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
I would have taken that too.
I get the type of checks. It's fun though, but it's like $1.21 is my residual check for being on Louis or something.
Yeah,
right.
It's so funny, and then you see why, because they played in some weird country,
at least in Malaysia.
So I get another $1.21. It's always $1.21.
I have my lowest one, and I framed it 12 cents.
12 cents.
I have a 12 cent for a Conan episode that they aired in Nebraska, and I'm like at 3 a.m. I'm like, where is Conan just airing in just Nebraska?
At 3
But it was an
morning.
episode of Conan, and it was about 10 years ago. I have it framed 12 cents.
12 cents.
I bought on eBay a Richard Pryor uncashed check that he got from the spelling company for the Mod Squad. It was a $5 check, and they sold that. I guess Pryor said, "Fuck that."
Right. Or maybe he was so fucked up he didn't have no idea. He probably had uncashed checks all over the apartment.
Oh, we're gonna go to Mike Calta or Cowhead.
Mike. We need to break and then do.
We should break so we can do that because I think they're expecting us right at 9. They got to time it on their end. We don't really have to time it. But Jim Norton, Artie, and Bobby Kelly are doing a gig in Tampa,
March 20th
for Mike.
And today, this is why promoters are dumb. Tickets are on sale on sale today at noon. Why wouldn't they go on sale earlier while we're on the air? Why are they obsessed with noon?
I don't know.
It's all computerized.
Right, exactly. But it has to be.
My call is great, and it's in St. Petersburg, Florida, March 20th, 8 o'clock. This show will sell out at the Mahaffrey Theater.
I've played there before. You ever played the Mahaffrey?
I don't think so.
I played it. It's a great place. Great place.
Sam just handed me something. I don't know if Artie's on board. We love making fun of radio shows.
Sure.
I think you've probably heard that over the years.
I know, sure. Yeah.
Especially the morning zoo types.
Yeah.
And this is real. Todd and Jade, who we've been beating up a little bit lately, they have a song called "All About the Balls."
Because of New England, because of the Patriots.
Look at Jimmy's face.
It actually just makes me sad. Oh God!
Boy, that has opened up every bad pun. The New York Post,
dude, it's unbelievable. It's almost awe-inspiring.
They're trying.
The Post is in your face with it, but all about the ball.
The Post and their Sheldon Silver. Did you know? That's just inappropriate.
Nice.
That's great.
More with Artie Lange. Stay there.